this the video? Oh my God, that is him. Friendly reminder for you guys tuning in first time for weird news segments, stuff like that. I have not read these articles. I've really only seen the headlines. I have no idea what we're about to get into, but I thought this one was pretty interesting. Prominent New York City sommelier accused of starting fires at restaurants near his wine bar. Okay, so off of this, I'm wondering if he owns the restaurant. By the way, guys, a sommelier is somebody that is an expert in wine. I don't know if this is his shop and he's just burning down the competition, literally. Let's find out. A well-known sommelier is facing charges in New York City for allegedly setting 3 fires, including 2 that damaged the outdoor dining structures of restaurants in Lower Manhattan. Oh my God, he's trying to kill the COVID patios. Authorities released surveillance footage that allegedly show Caleb Ganser using a lighter to set fire to the outdoor dining area. Motherfucker just grabbed a lighter? Okay, this July 13 arson allegedly started when Ganser lit a napkin holder attached to a wooden structure ablaze. Fire officials also say Ganser, who's a partner at a Manhattan wine bar, so he doesn't own it, but he's financially connected, set a pile of rubbish on fire on June 26th. This is almost a month prior, and torched an outdoor dining structure at an Italian restaurant. The January fire resulted in $3,500 in damage. This is him. This is kind of embarrassing. I mean, super embarrassing and really sad for the restaurant owners too. Okay, this is him, Caleb Ganser. Caleb Ganser was named a Food and Wine Sommelier of the Year in 2017. Is charged with 2 counts of third-degree arson, 2 counts of third-degree criminal mischief, and 3 counts of second-degree reckless endangerment. You're kidding me. Is this the video? Oh my God, that is him. Honey, homeboy, what the Oh my God, the reassurance. It's literally the COVID structure, literally their patio dining. That's what he's trying to destroy. That is really something, dude. Every act of arson has the potential to spread rapidly, endangering lives of New York. And yeah, that's another thing too, man. That is definitely another thing. Here, if the city is too busy that night and they can't get dispatch out like super, super fast, depending on the structure, if there's older buildings nearby, if there's older buildings and they have poor insulation or something, and then the fire just rips through, now it's a whole nother charge. The motive is unclear. Chat, one in the chat if you got an idea of what the motive was. 2 in the chat if you think the motive was unclear. This one says, Wisconsin man who killed 5 family members, then called 911 to admit murders, gets 205 years in prison. This guy's name is Christopher Stokes. He lived in the house with, these are his family members. I think there's one photo of a person missing. Christopher was a felon. He had been to jail a few times. He'd been to jail enough that he was legally not supposed to own a firearm. He was not supposed to own a firearm. And his defense on this, or his excuse or whatever, he basically admitted to the crimes, but he says, oh, I don't know, something in me just snapped. And then he walked around his house and shot all of his family members to death multiple times. Not execution style, anything like that. He just shot them all, reloaded, shot. This one says, Christopher Stokes, 44, was sentenced to 205 years after the murder of his family members 19, 14, 16, 17, and 41 years old. Oh, dude, Marcus and Demetrius, they were so fucking young. Oh my God, Antarish, 16? They're all so young. Like, look, there were so many minors. And then I'm not sure. Maybe Teresa was mother or a significant other or something like that. No. They were all family members. So he says, quote, don't know what in the world came over me. Woke up and just had blood on my mind. Something just wasn't going right. I just don't know. The reality is, I can't take it back. I did the ultimate sin. I deserve to be locked up. I deserve everything I get. I'm not asking for no leniency or anything like that. I deserve it. No one in the world should have done what I did. Dude, I hate this one so much because I hate that somebody can walk around their own home with a gun, mow down their entire family, people that they've known their entire lives, especially if Marcus Stokes was his son. He's probably, or even if it wasn't his son, he has probably known Chris Stokes his entire life. I hate that. And then I think reading down a little bit further, it said that I don't even think he wanted to plead insanity. So this is him. Before entering his plea, Stokes was examined by 2 doctors to determine whether he qualified for a plea of guilty or not guilty by reason of mental disease of defect. However, both doctors declined to support that potential plea. So they're not even going to interview him. They're like, look, if he's just going to admit it, fess up to it, lock him up. Bye. Goodbye, sir. But we got a couple videos, and then I got one from his sentencing that I thought was pretty interesting, actually. You'll see it flash by pretty quick.
A Milwaukee man will spend the rest of his life in prison for shooting and killing 5 of his family members last year.
A judge gave Christopher Stokes...
Oh, wait. Is that Chris Stokes? I don't know if that's Chris Stokes or if that's an angry person that was there. Does that look like him?
5 of his family members last year.
Like I said already, he was sentenced to 205 years in jail. But I explained this a little bit briefly yesterday, guys. Sentencing is usually pretty long because the judge sits there, listens the entire time, really just kind of, overrules or passes something, doing a lot of like administrative like passes, fails, all that kind of shit in the background. But then at the end, the judge finally really gets to speak and say everything that they heard over the case and what they think before they deliver their sentence. But what I thought was really interesting is this victim impact statement that I've really admired. This is Miss Stokes. I don't have a name on who Miss Stokes is. Here she is. It's a little low. We're not gonna listen to too much, but I'm gonna play what we can of her victim impact statement.
I really ain't got much to say besides you was a bitch. Everything about you was bitch made. And you bogus as fuck.
I just need to point out that the judge is over here and just looking down and just doing whatever. She's like, talk your queen. Like nobody's moving. Nobody.
Instead of you sitting right here, you should have died. You should have killed yourself. I mean, what was the point? My life no better. At all. You a heartless bitch. A heartless bitch.
1 in the chat if you agree. 2 in the chat if you do not agree.
Okay, well, I'm done, because he another bitch.
Oh my God! First of all, look, I'm sorry. I don't care if anyone thinks I'm toxic. I'm endorsing that shit.
I need you to say something to me, Chris.
Damn.
Please, I don't care what it is. Just say something.
His mom in court says, say something. You guys, she wants to hear just something. Anything. I really wonder for the people that feel like remorseful, or even those that don't, I wonder if the witness impact statements echo with them. Because to be honest, guys, I would, as much as I would like to show them a lot more, they are incredibly emotional, like just really, really emotionally draining. I mean, maybe we'll kind of highlight them more on like YouTube or something like that, because I know some of you guys like can't like handle it, but I think it's so important, because we talk about how much these people are pieces of shit, but oh my God, this guy had some kind, I don't know if it was hardcore trigger. I don't know if it was a psychotic episode for me. I have no idea what it was, but this man had a history of mental illness, had a lot of bad thoughts, and for years didn't get help. And his solution, when his mom would say, I know something's wrong, please talk to me, was like, nah, leave me alone, I'm gonna take care of this. And in his brain, that like it's like his brain stopped after the idea of murder and never thought about the pain that it causes later. Nobody thinks about that shit. When these people are committing violent acts like that, they never think about having to sit there in a courtroom like this while your mother cries and screams and asks you, why did you do this to her? And why did you do this to their family? The family has to live with this tragedy for the rest of their lives. It's a pretty sad story. Very sad story. This one says, Tennessee man died after he was swatted by people targeting his Twitter handle. He had the Twitter handle Tennessee. And so people were harassing him to get this handle, and he would just ignore it. It says, a Tennessee man died last year after getting targeted by a swatting call by someone who wanted to give up his Twitter handle. Mark Herring, 60, owned the Twitter handle @Tennessee. He chose the handle when Twitter was in its infancy because he loved his home state and the Tennessee Volunteers. Over the years, Herring received many offers to sell the Twitter handle, but he always refused. Sometimes a prospective buyer would get disgruntled at his refusal to sell. But on April 27, 2020, things took a deadly turn. Several of Herring's relatives began getting pizza deliveries they had not ordered. If you guys don't know, this is like the oldest trick in the internet book. Like sending pamphlets to somebody's address, or signing somebody's email up for spam emails or something like that, or having pizzas delivered once you get an address. Two of Herring's daughters and his ex-wife got multiple pizzas, all cash on delivery. Alarmed, they began to reach out to Herring, but got no response. Herring's son-in-law finally got through to Herring's live-in girlfriend. She said, everything is not okay. I'm in the back of a cop car. I've got to go. Wait, I didn't read this article. Wait, what the f? Okay. Police had received a call from Herring's number claiming that Herring had killed a woman on the property. So he got swatted. Officers responded at the scene, guns drawn. They met Herring on his porch and demanded that he put his hands up. That's when Herring had a massive and fatal heart attack. Oh my God, dude. I thought that this was gonna be like an accidental shooting or something, but he was so fucking scared he had a heart attack. Yeah, they just tried to terrorize him out of giving up this Twitter handle. Oh, man, I did not know that. The family soon learned that Herring had received a demand from two people who wanted his Twitter handle. He refused, and the people allegedly began intimidation tactics to force him to sell. Police now say that the two minors, one from Tennessee and one from the UK, were responsible for the events April 27, 2020. The American minor has since turned 18, is being charged as an adult. All right now. The alleged British co-conspirator is still a minor and will not be extradited to the United States. So one thing to know about this, because I've been online for a very, very long time. A lot of you guys have too, but maybe some of you guys aren't even familiar. But 10 years ago, probably 8 or 10 years ago was the first time that I started hearing about people getting swatted. And I'm sure a lot of us know, you guys know what swatting is. 8 or 10 years ago, it didn't exist. So it wasn't technically illegal. So people were doing it, even though we know morally you should absolutely not do that. Well, actually it is illegal because you're calling in a false police threat. But it's like people thought people were doing it, people were getting away with it. And then about 5 or 6 years ago, people actually started dying from swatting. So it became more like hard lines of swatting itself is illegal. But there's still dumbasses online that are doing it to people and not realizing the extreme consequences. Like multiple people have died from swattings, but a lot of times it's been shootings. So this dude, just the thought of this guy being terrorized by two little fucking kids online because they wanted a Twitter handle, and then him being so scared seeing the SWAT team, guns drawn at his house, like, oh my God, that breaks my heart, dude. According to documents filed with Western Tennessee District Court, Shane Soderman pleaded guilty in March to wire fraud / conspiracy, interstate communication of threats, false information and hoaxes, and conspiracy. Oh, how many years is he getting for that? According to the charging documents, Soderman had 6 other victims across the country. Only Herring died. So this was a serial swatter. This was a kid that was just doing it constantly and getting away with it. The court filing states that as part of a harassment campaign, the defendant Sonderman and his co-conspirators would place calls to emergency service dispatchers or 911 dispatchers, claiming that an emergency was in progress at the resident of owner of the desired social media handle. Court documents state that Sonderman is currently awaiting sentencing. An attorney for Sonderman did not immediately return to People's call for comment. Of course they're not going to. Wait, I want to see if there's pictures of this kid. I'm nosy. Did he actually get sentenced? Oh, he did. Are you kidding me? This says that he got sentenced to 60 months. 60 months? Is that on top of the 2 years that he's just... I mean, either way, it's only 60 months. What is that, 5 years? Are we all feeling the that's it vibe right now? I feel like it should definitely be longer, but it maybe, depending on his demeanor when he was in court, they might have seen him as like remorseful and actually thought there was room for rehabilitation. So 5 years on top of the 2 years... It's definitely not enough, but maybe they thought that would teach him a lesson or something like that. I don't